Welcome to Brandon's Adventures of Superman. And now, here is your host, Brandon Coles.
Hello, Superman fans. Once again, I am Brandon Coles, and thank you for joining me. I have been delayed in producing this episode because of losing my voice due to allergies. It's somewhat back. You can maybe tell some hoarseness. I'm glad to be getting back to this project. Now, in this episode of the podcast, we're going to review Superman on Earth. It is episode 1 of the series, which premiered on September 19th, 1952. The synopsis is a model space-worthy ship is built by Jor-El after he learns that his planet, Krypton, is destined to be destroyed. Jor-El is thought a fool by others, and in the model ship, before the world is no more, he sends his son to Earth. A rural farm couple finds the infant and raises him to young adulthood. The young man gets a job in the big city and decides to use his superhuman powers for good. Let's go over a few facts for the show. It is one of 2 scripts of the first season with a sci-fi theme. The Carnation Building at 5045 Wilshire Boulevard in L.A. doubles for the front door of the Daily Planet. Jack Nars is the special narrator throughout the show. William Kennedy did the opening narration. The establishing shots of the planet is from the E. Clem Wilson Building at 5225 Wilshire Boulevard. Time now for my thoughts, which is a little larger summary. On Krypton, the actors did a great job of acting. Jor-El in this story told the governing council that Krypton would be destroyed. Of course, the council scoffed at that idea and were insulted. Jor-El had built a model spaceship to show how they could leave the planet. That model ship became Kal-El's vehicle after Jor-El and Laura finally decided that Kal-El will go to Earth, not Laura or Jor-El. I will tell you I like the 1978 Superman movie better, where Jor-El and Laura never planned to leave, and it was always their plan, mainly Jor-El's, to send Kal-El to Earth. The 1978 movie has more of a messianic story to it. Now back to the show. Baby Kal-El reaches Earth, where the farming couple Eben and Sarah Kent finds the baby after the ship is destroyed. The first time I watched and heard those names, I went, "What?" I'm used to their names being Jonathan and Martha Kent. So now, in my head canon, Eben is Jonathan's middle name, and Martha's full name is Martha Sarah Clark Kent. I asked in Jim Notes, the Adventures Continue Facebook group, about it, and Eben and Sarah came from the 1942 novel by George Lawthor called The Adventures of Superman. Lawthor was on the radio show's writing staff. I was told the TV show took more from the radio show. The names of Jonathan and Martha came in the 40s and during the Superboy comics, which was pitched by Jerry Siegel without Joe Shuster. Both those men created Superman. I like how the narrators helped move the story along in this episode while filling in the time gaps. It comes to Sarah telling a young Clark, a.k.a. Kal-El, about his origins. I really like this part. Sarah encourages Clark to use his powers for good after Eben had passed away. Clark accepts the gift from Sarah, and Clark waves goodbye. Only George Reeves could give the look he gave to Sarah as he got ready to leave. The gift that Sarah gave Clark was his uniform that she had made it out of the materials that he had been wrapped in as a baby. Nothing could hurt that material. Clark goes to the Daily Planet to get a job, but has a hard time getting to see the editor, Perry White. So what does he do? He goes out the window and gingerly walks on the ledge like a stroll through the park and walks into Perry White's window. I should have done that when I was trying to get a job. It might have came in handy. But anyway, Clark tells Perry he came through the window. After he asks, which he did not believe, Clark came through the window, by the way. Clark asks if he can get a story If he could get a story, can he have a job? They get word that a man played by Dabs Greer, who will appear again in the series, is hanging from a blimp from a rope. Clark turns into Superman and saves the man from a fall from the blimp. Clark gets the scoop and the job. Lois suspects something at the end of the episode, and Clark has to work on his secret identity. I think Clark telling Lois maybe he is a Superman is to throw her off. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give the episode a 10. I asked in Jim Notes, the Ventures Continue Facebook group, their score. 6 people gave the episode a 10, and it did not get a score below 7. Consulted works for my podcast, as always, are Flights of Fantasy, the unauthorized but true story of radio and TV's Adventures of Superman by Michael J. Hayde, and the George Reeves Adventures of Superman Companion by Peter S. Moreno. Finally, to contact me or follow me on social media, go to Facebook and type Brandon's Adventures of Superman Podcast into the search field. On Twitter, I am at PackerBAC. Thank you for listening, and come back next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Brandon's Adventures of Superman. Be sure to tune in next time, but until then, up, and away!